A package from an academia scholar? Oh, then there could be anything inside.
There wasn't anything dangerous inside. Just a bunch of strange cards. I think I've seen Timaeus with some similar-looking cards before.
You've seen me with some cards?
No, they didn't look like test cards. Here, have a look.
Oh, you meant these? Huh. Sucrose, have you really never seen...
No, never. Recently, I've been spending all my time up in the mountains working on cultivating pentatonic sweet flowers. Why? Is this an area of research that has started trending in the alchemical community during my absence?
You could definitely say that it's trending, but not as an area of research. It's a card game that's been getting really popular these days. It's called Genius Invocation TCG.
Genius Invocation TCG! Yeah, we've been hearing about this game all over the place. But this is the first time we've ever actually seen any of the... We didn't know it had made it all the way to Mondstadt. Must be pretty popular.
That's right. The game's been catching on lately. The Yae publishing house in Inazuma has even published a series of light novels based on the game. The story is real. It starts with a young guy in Sumeru who finds an ancient casket of tomes in the attic. He opens it and discovers that the soul of an ancient TCG player called the Crocodile King has been captured inside. It turns out that the Crocodile King was King Deshret's viceroy, who battled an opponent named the Ibis King. During the match, the Crocodile King fell prey to his opponent's scheme and was sealed away in the casket of tomes. After being unexpectedly released by the kid, the Crocodile King possesses him and helps him to gradually climb the ranks and become... Huh? What's wrong, Sucrose? If you're interested in how the story plays out, I can lend you the novel.
No. I was just thinking about that time you requested an extension on your progress report.
I did go through a phase recently where I wasn't putting enough focus on my work, but it...
Well, that's unfortunate.
Oh? What?
Well, since it's a gift from a researcher I've collaborated with, I thought that I should at least try to learn the rule.
Oh, right. And since it's a game from Sumeru, who knows? Playing it might... Okay, fine. Paimon's curious and would like to give it a try. Please? Although, it seems like we can't learn how to play it anytime soon, 'cause to make...
Well, research is my priority, you know. But if you'd like to learn the rules of Genius Invocation TCG, then I'd actually suggest you go to the Cat's Tail. Yep, that's the place. It's where everyone in the community goes to play when they have time. Trying to learn the rules can be intimidating at first, but it's a lot of fun once you get...
Understood. Traveler, Paimon, let's go to the Cat's Tail and try asking around. To be honest, hearing Timaeus talking about the game has also piqued my curiosity.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's get going!
Welcome to the Cat's Tail. Ah, it's the Traveler and Paimon. What a nice surprise. Oh, and Sucrose the Alchemist. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'm afraid I've already told you before. Fur from the Cat's Tail staff is not for sale, no matter how much Mora you offer.
Don't worry, Margaret. We're not here for that research project I told you about last time.
Sucrose, what kind of experience?
Actually, Margaret, we're here to learn more about Genius Invocation TC.
Genius Invocation TCG. We were just talking. You see, more and more people. Speaking of which, I believe you know Prince.
Allow me to
My mistake. So it seems I haven't introduced you yet. This is Prince.
I'm afraid I must correct you there, ma'am. Only Prince, the strongest and most formidable TCG player. The average player is incapable of grasping the subtlety and sheer genius behind Prince's.
Wow!
How can you use such... Oh? What?
Seriously, how can he get all of that from...
Yes, it was...
So, playing Genius...
Anyway, if you'd like to know anything about Genius Invocation TCG, then please ask. Though I'd love to explain more myself, it's time for my daily walk. I'll let Prince play a game with you and walk you through all the rules.
Just as a seasoned warrior can...
Oh!
I'm sorry, but from the day I met the mighty Cardmaster Prince, I swore an oath that my hands would live solely to hold the cards and not to play them. I will never play another match of my own.
If Prince is unwilling to play, then I guess we should look for an
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. What is it? I'm pretty busy over here, you know. Why is it that every player that sets foot in here to play Genius Invocation TCG has to have a drink? Ugh! Don't they have any? Seriously, games and drinks don't mix. Don't they get that?
What can I say? As the tavern owner, I can't help but anyway, I see you've been working hard, so I thought you could use a break. So why not come over here and teach these customers the rules of Genius Invocation?
Ha! Yeah. Oh.
Prince speaks the truth, Diona.
Could it really?
Sure, why not? Alrighty.
But Shuyan is...
Shuyan, drink me.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, all right. We'll need some space to learn. Let's go to that empty table. Okay, let's go through the rules. First things first. You'll be needing your deck.
Deck?
Yes. You should have built a deck. You know, a set of cards that meets the bare minimum requirement to play the game. What's with the blank stares? Come on. Don't tell me you came to learn Genius Invocation TCG without bringing any cards.
That's right. We have some cards that I received from a friend.
Yeah. You're gonna... Okay, let me think. Oh, that reminds me. A few days ago when I was closing up for the night, I noticed a customer had left a couple of character cards.
Are you sure that...
It's all right. Oh, okay, yeah, I got them here with me. All right, so now... Yep. So, are you ready to start? All right. Welcome to the world of Genius Invocation. Simply put, this is a game where you control character cards to duke it out with your opponent. Pew, pew, pew. Once you've defeated all of your opponent's character cards, victory. Now then, you're gonna need a character on the field to start with.
Let's go.
First, we roll 8 elemental dice at the start of every... These dice correspond to elemental energy. We'll be spending these dice to perform actions. Once the roll phase is over, you'll enter the action phase, where the real game starts. During the action phase, you can spend elemental dice to perform various actions. Of course, the most common action is to use character skills. Not bad. You just made your first attack. During the action phase, both sides will take turns making their moves. After you use a skill to attack your opponent, it's their turn to attack. And as you can see, once the enemy finished... Now, these are Omni-Element dice. They can be spent on any move regardless of the elemental type. So, we're going to use them to pay for the pyro dice needed for this skill. Go on, give it a try. That was pretty good. That's one opponent down for... But the game has only just begun. As much as we'd like to attack again, it seems like we've run out of usable dice. In that case, let's end this round. After you end round, you won't be able to do anything else this round. And once everyone chooses end round, we can move on to the next round. All right, here we are, a fresh new round. Woohoo! And a fresh new round means... Ooh, that's some terrible luck. Oh, there's no way we'll be able to use D-Luke's skill now. But don't worry, situations like these are why we have the option to reroll. Once per round, you can select all the dice that you don't like and reroll them. When the action phase begins, the player who first chose end round in the previous round takes their turn first. This means that since you finished first the last round, you'll be the first to start this round. Alrighty then, let's learn a little bit about energy and elemental bursts. Each time you use a skill, your character will gain 1 energy. Once D-Luke's energy is full, he can use a powerful elemental burst. But we're still one short. Never mind, let's start with a normal attack instead. D-Luke's normal attack only needs 1 pyro die and 2 other dice of any type. In any case... Now we have 3 energy, plus we have enough pyro elemental dice left over. It's time to use your powerful elemental burst!
Time for retribution!
In an actual game of Genius Invocation TCG, you need to use multiple character cards to form a party. Next up, it's time for your second character card, Kaya, to take the stage. Oh, it seems like any move by Kaya is going to cost quite a lot of cryo dice. When you deal cryo damage, you'll cause your target to be affected by cryo.
Freeze!
Good! Now our opponent is affected by cryo. Different types of elemental damage affect enemies with different elements. When a character is affected by certain elemental combos, an elemental reaction will be triggered. At the moment, your opponent is affected by cryo, so we should try and use a pyro skill on them. Looks like... Oh, that reminds me! Both sides must have one active character, while others are considered standby characters. Normally, we can only use the active character skills. Now, if we want to use the skills of our standby character, we'll have to switch them to the active character. In this case, we'll have to switch to D-Luke. You can spend 1 element...
Let's finish this swiftly.
Switching characters is an action, just like using a skill. So once it's done, it's your opponent's turn. Most skills can only target the active character. As you can see, your opponent just attacked D-Luke. All right then, now that D-Luke is our active character, because the opponent is already affected by cryo, dealing pyro damage triggers the melt elemental reaction. When triggered, melt increases damage dealt by 2. This will allow you to deal loads of damage in one go. Genius Invocation's elemental reaction system is pretty cool, huh? Next up, let's learn how to use card types other than character cards. These cards are all known as action cards. Each time a match starts, you have to draw 5 action cards to form your starting hand. Uh-oh. Looks like we don't have any elemental dice we can spend to make an attack. Usable dice even after that reroll? Well, never mind. Even in cases like this, we can still attack. We just need don't underestimate action cards. They can grant all kinds of support and buffs to your active character. Take this one, for example. So playing this action card will require 2 of these. See the symbol? Yeah, that means you'll need to play elemental dice of the same type. Some other cards will cost you these instead. The cost requirements for these are much more lenient. You can spend any kind of elemental dice. We'll cross that bridge when we get there, though. For now, just play this action card. So, playing an action card from your hand is a form of fast action. Fast actions do not end your current turn. Simply put, you can continue to act even after playing an action card. Well then, you have your blade. Time to test it out. But wait, Diluc's elemental skill costs 3 pyro dice, and right now, we don't even have 1. Well, not a problem. This is where we can use a more advanced mechanic known as elemental tuning. By discarding 1 card from your hand, you can convert 1 elemental die into the element of your current active character. And this card isn't useful right now, so we might as well use it for elemental tuning. Sometimes you won't be able to perform any actions you want to because you didn't roll the elemental dice you wanted. Oh well. Moving on. In Genius Invocation TCG, keeping up a constant flow of combat is much more important than the number of cards you have. In this case, well, let's just take all these useless cards and use them for elemental tuning. Just like playing cards from your hand, elemental tuning is a fast action. Come on, hurry up! Use elemental tuning to get yourself 3 pyro... Well, would you look at that? Finally, we now have enough elemental dice to use Searing Onslaught. Because you have the White Iron Greatsword equipped, Searing Onslaught will deal 1 extra damage! Now comes the final part! Hoo-yeah! In a real match, you can make adjustments to your initial hand. At this time, we can select any number of cards in our hand to shuffle back into the draw pile, and then draw the same number of new cards. What? Once you have confirmed any adjustments you wish to make to your starting hand, both players have to select their starting active character at the same time. Oh boy, this one's a real doozy. We gotta take it out pronto. Let's see how you do this time. Remember, start by selecting your initial starting character.
This will be interesting.
Look at you! You sure are getting the hang of these rolls. Now let me teach you one last trick. Free of charge. You can preview your opponent's actions. That is to say, you can read their intent. Check it out. So here's where you can see all your opponent's intentions for this round. All your opponent's intended actions for the round will be listed here in order. Reference this to come up with effective countermeasures and easily defeat your opponents. Well then, that's the end of the tutorial. You're on your own from here. May victory be yours!
Freeze!
Wait. There's one more thing I almost forgot. Every time you hit an end phase, you get to draw 2 cards from your action cards pile. Remember, you have to make use of both your elemental dice and your action cards to win.
This moment will be frozen in time.
Let's go.
Alright, cool. What we just played was an adventure challenge designed special. Genius Invocation TCG can be played in duel mode, where each player brings 3 character cards, or an adventure challenge. But the rules are all the same.
Although I feel...
That was quite the detailed explanation. I didn't know the Cat's Tail's famous mixologist had such an eclectic skill set.
What? Oh, when did you get here?
I stepped in while you were in the middle of your explanation. I hope I didn't dampen the mood.
You have slow reactions. Wait, are you copying me? Shut up. Anyway,
The Cat's Tail is a player in Mondstadt's Elk. I'm here today to discuss a few items of business with Margaret.
too bad she just left.
Never mind, it's...
Wait, this card? It's D-Luke's character card.
Although I have some degree of experience with Genius Invocation TCG, seeing this particular card...
A customer left it behind a few days.
Oh?
He wasn't wearing an eye patch, okay? He had a light complexion.
Eye patch, you say?
I was trying to give the opposite description.
Don't worry. Somehow, I don't...
So, what about the D-Luke character?
I don't mind. It's just a card with my image on it.
I didn't expect D-Luke to be familiar with Genius Invocation.
The game has been catching on lately. It's hard to go anywhere without hearing it mentioned. I was hoping we could play a game, but this issue of someone leaving a character card with my image of the Cat's Tail is... it's getting late. And someone has some explaining to do. We'll have to... Good. Then I'll take my...
You know where the door is. Don't let the door hit you where Lord... Uh-oh. Guard captain.
I hope well, now that we're...
Ooh, but in order to play an official duel, remember, a complete deck has to have 3 character cards and 30 action cards.
Then, let's use my cards. These were mixed in now. It looks like we each have the Kaya... All right.
Unlike the adventure challenge you tried previously, duels are true tests of strength between 2 players. In a duel, your opponent can also use action cards, and they'll also be able to grab new cards during an end phase. At the same time, your opponent must also spend elemental dice to take actions, so you'll be unable to view their intent. Are you ready? It's time for some exhilarating fights to the bitter end. Musa!
Let's go.
Ready when you are.
Absorption test.
This will be interesting. Freeze!
My research. Darn. I didn't factor that into the equation.
Cool it!
Let's finish this, swiftly. Where did I go?
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Ready when you are.
Cool it! Cool it! Let's go.
Time for retribution!
This doesn't look good.
I can't believe I lost when we had the exact same character card. Every decision is a difficult trade-off in this game.
That's not how the rules work, Sucrose.
Oh, but it was a fun match.
Paimon didn't know you could get so competitive.
I always get a little upset. It's like that with my research, too.
Playing cards is no different. Each
But
a losing streak, yeah. Besides, Sucrose, you're already making.
thank you.
Good. Haven't.
I'll definitely...
All right. I think you should have all the basics. Burning Mondstadt's wine industry to the ground keeps me pretty busy, you know. So if you need any more help, go bother Shuyun.
I see. So you have now grasped the rules of G...
That's right. The Paimon picked it up from...
Becoming a T... Oh, sobering words from Prince there. But I'm afraid he's right. To become official players recognized by... It's just a tape, basically.
So,
The duel... I agree. Although...
Same way.
A well-trained Sucrose. Oh, yes, my goodness. Completely slipped my mind. I'm lucky to have Prince here to remind me.
oh, Tamae's mentioned it.
Oh, that's right. The soul of an ancient TCG player was trapped inside. So the casket of...
Well, actually...
Oh, Paimon can guess what you're gonna say next. The reason they can sense each other.
That would mean an extraordinarily high number of people in history have been turned into disembodied souls as a consequence of playing card games. No. The real reason that it can sense other caskets is because it holds a nifty little mechanism invented by Sumeru's scholar.
Darn, what a letdown. All right, now.
All probably for the best. Okay, so go and see Margaret to claim your casket of tomes, use it to find another player, beat them in a duel.
But even for the trap.
I shall choose the final contestant she must beat in order to become an official TC. Excellent plan, Prince.
Hello, you three. Has I see you're here for your casket of
So this is a.
That's right, a purpose-built case for your card deck that can even detect when someone else nearby is carrying one. Gosh, whoever invented this must.
Yeah, well.
True. So I'm glad that these You're not wrong, but.
All right. In that case, I'll go find some people to. Thanks.
There's a player nearby! That way! Let's go see! Aha!
I'm sorry. Is there anything I can assist?
We want to become.
Oh, I see. I see you're serious about this. So be it. Then let the duel begin.
I want to help.
Ready when you are. Cool it! Freeze!
Gosh, I lost. Let's play again when you have some time.
We did it! Now we have 2 victories under our belt. Let's get back to the cat's tail. Paimon wonders who Prince is gonna pick as our final contestant.
I said, defeat the not just Prince. I can't.
She won't lose to them, whoever it is. Right, Traveler?
What ho, fellow voyager of the stellar void. Yes, even I was briefly discountenanced when I heard the tidings of your sworn oath to become. Step forth, O brave challenger. Your princessin grants you an audience. Hearken well. The wretched clock chimes yet again, as the declining light of the day grows dimmer still.
Pardon my directness, but we have not been waiting.
Huh? Paimon knows the...
Your opponent sounds anxious. That's what Prince said. Please.
But the princessin. For, as the name of... This path is a treacherous one. It must be tread. That is why none is more suited to appear in this audience chamber.
Oh, is that right?
Indeed. Mein Fräulein had...
Oh, that's true. Ah, this makes sense now.
The princess...
Mein Fräulein...
So there's a lot...
Indeed.
The princessin herself...
Mein Fräulein, I implore you to consider less odious turns of phrase.
What say you, Outlander? Do you wish to make an enemy of me, the princessin of Ertelung, who even now begins to strum? Then I say...
Ready when you are.
Let's finish this, swiftly.
No rest for the wicked. Saint Froya.
This is but a small sacrifice necessary to achieve ultimate victory.
I want to help.
Out of the way!
Verdict is...
This is just... What happened? Oz, with lightning twixt upper and lower mandible, strike thy pointy beak into this obstacle and remove it from my path!
Mein Fräulein, I cannot simply attack the traveler.
doesn't look good.
Impossible! Ugh, the cursed dragon traveler.
What a truly ingenious plot. And what an exciting duel to witness.
Congratulations! You've won 3 duels now. That makes you an official TCG player.
Yeah! Oh,
Yep. I've won 2 games so far. When I got back,
nice! Super!
It seems I am to commemorate your glorious ascent to a battlefield beyond the
Main Fräulein wishes to give you a Main Fräulein character card.
Wow, it's Fischl's character card!
'Tis a mere token of nothing would delight me more.
one other thing. When I got back, Prince...
No card game in the world has a card like that! Paimon bets it's some kind of... Let's go get our...
With 3 electro dice, I summon...
Ah, so it was you who won the duel in the end. The first thing all knew of this handbook tells you. Secondly, and thirdly, whenever you wish to play a game with a friend, you can use the invitation board there. Yes, it's right by the bar counter. Once you get the hang, that's it, really. Yes, indeed. Hope you have fun playing.
Let's finish this, swiftly.
Come on, serious suggestions, please. I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay. That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read it. There's no getting around...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to... Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about!
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your, if only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe it?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you be able to tell us about Tatarasuna?
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here because we heard you talking about it and wanted to learn more.
I see. My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's difficult to get into because even Inazumans don't know much about Tatarasuna's past. But,
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the book I'm writing about Tatarasuna.
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first read?
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest essay draft.
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. The writings mentioned someone by the name of Mikoshi Nagamasa, who crafted a fine blade. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono. This seems to be an Inazuman word for an eccentric stranger, someone who dresses funny or acts in an unusual way.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing without a trace. And shortly afterwards, as Akaba mentioned, things got pretty ugly.
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens? Seems kind of fishy to Paimon.
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if they knew anything about what happened back then. And wow, did I get lucky!
Stop shouting!
This part's important. I just wanted to make it stand out. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the Government Records Office. He looked into it for me, and I can now confirm that all the aforementioned individuals did, in fact, live in Inazuma over 400 years ago. Even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was a government official named Niwa. Curiously enough...
Wait, so there are 2 missing people in this story now?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history to it. Have you ever heard of the great swordsmith clans of Inazuma?
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like Ishin art and so on?
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative of the Kaidahara clan, the last practitioners of Ishin art. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall. I don't know the details, but taken in light of everything else going on around that time, it makes you wonder...
The Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest detail of all.
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to be blown. Or maybe you won't believe your ears. I wouldn't blame you, of course.
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human, but a puppet.
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do know something after all.
How creepy. The way you described it makes it sound like a ghost story.
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means uncommon, spooky events are to be expected. And that's exactly what my book is about. Please, take a look.
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well. Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. I don't think explaining everything away with mysterious forces will cut it. Oh, how about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue, like...
Wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look, your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem...
Good point. Okay, back to...
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for now. Good luck with your essay.
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about...
Hey, so that thing they were talking about, it has to do with the balladeer, doesn't it? Okay, then even if we did know something about it, we probably couldn't share it with them, huh? After all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are trees in the forest. There's no point in... Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like... the balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see. Traveler, Paimon, there you are. Nahida, bad news. We just saw the balladeer strolling around in public. Did he escape or... Ah, it's him!
Sure enough, you're here.
Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of Surasthana? Aren't you supposed to be lacked up?
I know you must have a lot of questions. Please, allow me to explain. It was my idea to set the balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's gonna do some investigation in Irminsul for me.
A deal? Huh. You sure you trust this guy?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me is all you can think about. But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong. There I was thinking you were just getting cold feet.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start. Could I ask you all to please calm down?
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida. Don't let him trick you.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between us!
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal, even with the balladeer.
Well, I for one have no reason to doubt you, considering you even struck a deal with the doctor.
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. You'll come to understand more about that in the fullness of time. The balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to be a strategic threat to us. That puts him in quite a precarious position. Plus, he's a former harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending on how the Fatui plan to respond.
Wait a second. Farmer? You mean he's not a harbinger anymore?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. That's how it was between me and the Fatui, and also between each of the harbingers. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, even I have to admit that I'm not worth quite what I used to be. Well, if the Fatui are going to reevaluate my utility, I need to have a backup plan for myself.
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings, and you said you need protection. So, why not join?
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear, don't you? And they're your friends, so I guess you'll be siding with them.
Yeah, obviously! Nahida, don't listen to him!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. We still have time. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will depend on how well we manage to cooperate today.
All right, then I'll do what we agreed.
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you...
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before, there's information about your twin in Irminsul.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to see you today. So, you have an update on that?
You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twin's details in the Descender category. This is an extremely important point. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the balladeer used to be one of them, he'll be better acquainted with this information than I am. He was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without knowing what to look for would take too long, even for me. So I asked the balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar with this kind of information.
Exactly! Or what if... Paimon just doesn't trust trust him. He's treated us as enemies every time we've run into him.
I understand. But sometimes everything is dictated by which side you're on. How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. And Traveler, I know what your heart does. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart reserved for an intense longing. A feeling of being all alone in the dark, searching for the one candle whose light still burns. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. But as someone who counts you as a friend, I want to do something for you. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, then it's worth it. It's my pleasure, really. You're Sumeru's hero.
Paimon's still worried about this idea. Is there anything we can do to...
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. Seems like we have a telepathic connection. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries out... Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former Harbinger. If you could accompany him, it would put my mind at ease. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the outside. Great. Prepare yourselves. I'm going to transport you into Irminsul.
Wow, it looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now, I'm on temporary release. So maybe you should think about backing off a little.
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the innermost region of Irminsul. It is an environment like no other, and the most important place in all of Sumeru. Unlike anywhere else, Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively of torrents of information. You must put aside your differences and be extremely careful as you navigate your way through. I know there are many grievances between you on both sides, but it is essential that you remain calm after entry. This is as much for your own safety as anything else.
Fine, let's call it truce. But only until this mission's over.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are going to be traveling together after all. Per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path. All you have to do is keep your pretty eyes open and...
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring.
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's unbearable.
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted. Initiating connection procedure.
Is this a small sapling? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow! So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh, Paimon's never seen anything like this, and it feels like a sacred place.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information flowing here means something. Pick your jaws up off the floor. It's time to go.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali, we will now proceed to the heart of Irminsul.
Can you still sense where the heart of Irminsul is?
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information there?
Permission granted. Go ahead.
Let's go. Stay close. Don't go running off.
Hey, so, say we did go running off in here. What would happen? What are you smirking at?
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out. So if you want to stay safe,
These sapling things have spread out.
those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge trip.
Lesser Lord Kusanali,
Good, you made it. Are you ready?
ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive currents. Establishing waypoint.
The Balladier's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he must want to stay alive.
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all, make sure to share it with us.
Will do.
For once, we're the ones with nothing to do.
Traveler, Paimon, would you like to talk? Yes, I've also invited Paimon to join.
What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus, we're all friends. There's nothing wrong with us talking like that.
Paimon's never tried this before. This is great! So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladier's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's always talking back, but he seems to listen to what you say.
As I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me, but that perhaps today will be the day that he finds. Well done. Smart and attentive as always. So, you made contact with that part of his mind. Well, it's true. Betrayal turned the Balladeer into the person he is today.
Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin. Turns out, he can get hurt and angry.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. even if you're a puppet created by the Electro Archon.
Speaking of puppets, we ran into two people at the Academia today talking about an essay. Turns out their topic was about the Tatara Suna incident. Nahida, do you know anything about that?
If you mean the mysterious events, the Kabuki Mono and so on, yes. I know about all of that.
Really? Because from what they were saying, it sounded like lots of Tatara Suna's history is still unexplained. And most of the information we have now is just from people filling the gaps with their imagination.
Oh, how interesting. Those two managed to deduce quite a lot through guesswork alone.
So the Gesse got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing. Tatara Suna was sabotaged.
Must be a riveting conversation you three are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved.
What makes you think we're talking to each other?
Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of said conversation. Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing too much.
So, have you found anything yet?
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't surprise me if there was nothing on either of you in Irminsul at all.
Wait, how did you know about that? Did Nahida tell you?
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself, and making cordial conversation is something I can manage. Huh?
This light, it looks similar to those—
Anonymous data.
Hey, don't you forget the agreement! You have to share it with us!
Shh. Just wait.
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about Tatara Suna's furnace, after all. It may not pay to act rashly.
There's no one else who can enter the furnace. It has to be me.
Is that so? Well, since you insist.
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatara Suna for some time now. You have shown me great hospitality, as has Mikoshi Nagamasa, and indeed, everyone else. Under your leadership, Tatara Suna is a warm, welcoming place. Like a giant village. People are gainfully employed, their lives have purpose. They are motivated. As I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated much of the evil that plagued Inazuma. As for Tatara Suna, it was originally established as a means of safely disposing crystal marrow. The forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material has since flourished, giving rise to generations of swordsmiths. Some world-renowned, others unknown. All past skills, blood, dreams. Every smith brought into this trade looks to find their purpose between steel and blade. That is why you accepted the proposal brought to you by myself and Akame.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma and happening to make Akame's acquaintance, the two of you never would have joined forces. And he would be the first to admit that there's no way he could have revolutionized our forging process like this on his own. You allowed Akame to take all the credit for a method that you jointly developed. He sold it to me, and now every piece of ore here is smelted using the new technique. Even now, you remain one of Tatara Suna's key consultants, working right here alongside us. I believe it is you, sir, who are truly responsible for the changes in our manufacturing and forging methods.
You flatter me. From the outset, I saw much that was commendable in the
So you say, Escher.
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. Because I didn't want to speculate. And I didn't want to believe that things. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? Ominous black smoke? Mounting production problems? Worker fatigue and casualties are up and continuing to rise at an alarming rate. And recently, as you well know, someone died because of that strange filth inside the furnace. We've kept the truth from spreading outside. None of the people who went out to get help have come back. Now, our mutual friend, the Kabuki Mono, is taking the Golden Feather to Narukami Island to seek an audience with Shogun. This is our last, but that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher? Nothing does. Otherwise, why would you still be standing there with that smile on your face?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so sincere. I'm sure you've been harboring these suspicions for
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one common denominator among all these events. Namely you, Escher. But Mr. Mikoshi is more cautious than I. He does things by the book.
After all, Nagamasa is the adopted son of Mikoshi Torichio, the yokai struck down by the shogun's own hand. If he truly seeks to redeem his family's honor,
You're well informed on the subtleties of his situation for a mechanic all the way from Fontaine. Are you sure you're not a little overqualified?
Why, Mr. Niwa, are you suggesting I find a job as a diplomat? Sadly, I am so very attached to my craft.
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging inside the furnace. And someone needs to take your new device inside the high-risk zone so we can absorb it and put an end to the problem. I'm in charge here. And I'm about to take some responsibility and head inside. Probably to my death. But what about you?
Judging from the look in your eyes, you don't seem to
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you are, it looks like your plan to destroy Tatarasuna has worked. I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have all your answers by now?
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this, where you finish talking and I stop you from entering the furnace.
You...
You're a little smarter than I initially gave you credit for. I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well, at least for the first few days. But to my surprise, you had your people look into my background right from the start. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm that Escher was an alias, and that I was not from Fontaine at all. And yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity, and what I seek in Tatarasuna.
Did you really think you would be able to see through my plan?
If you kill me, there's no one who can get inside the furnace. So you're really going to destroy this place? Is that—
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person. Some may not see him as a person, but you told him yourself. You're not a puppet. You're a human. You're just missing a heart.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this. They'll be found out. But this makes no sense. What are you really trying to accomplish?
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue which I have in abundance. This is all part of a care. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity. I'm a Fatui Harbinger. Call me the Doctor.
The Fatui?
Just to create a minor inconvenience for your nation.
That's it? That's why you gave a...
Look how even the righteous soul is. My device functions precisely as you say. It is the only chance you have of preventing a catastrophe and keeping the truth from the outside world. However, I did not make it with you. It is easier for a person to be possessed by evil spirits when they are filled with hate. So give in to your fury. I want to see what happens when a malevolent heart is placed. Make no mistake, even without you, that pure, innocent puppet would only end up being used by someone else instead. What other reason would a human have for
If you give him my heart, he has nothing to prove to anyone. Because not everyone just wants to use other people. The only ones who think like that are people like you.
What a beautiful way to see the world. It almost think of me as a monster or a demon, if you wish. At least this way your death is not a consequence of your own folly turning you into an easy target. You simply lost to something more powerful than you could ever hope to do. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a human? No, Mr. Niwa. Already dead. What a pity. Jester, I have completed the task you gave me, creating a gap and infiltrating Inazuma's inner workings. I'd like to introduce a puppet to you. If he proves useful, let's make him our newest comrade. And if not, let's turn him to dust.
Hey, are you all right?
Dottore. Dottore. Good. Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he turn into a mechanic from Fontaine? But why did we see things from his perspective?
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his segments, I read this memory in his mind. You have to admit, it must be the truth.
Maybe so, but it means nothing.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't betray you. He never meant for you to be the one to take the device into the furnace. You know very well what that means.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad. Paimon doesn't want to be anywhere near him right now.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident. So, the doctor was behind it, but why?
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that you find it difficult to understand. Perhaps he needed to learn this so now you have the complete picture. Katsuragi took the Kabukimono to live with the people of Tatarasuna. Later, the doctor showed up, disguised as a mechanic from Fontaine. And that's when the trouble began. It was all a horrific experiment planned by the doctor. Everything he did was just to plant seeds of disaster in Inazuma. Of all the unwitting participants in the doctor's experiment, the balladeer became the main test subject. After the events you just saw in that memory, the doctor put Niwa's heart into the device and handed it to the balladeer. Then, he instructed him to enter the furnace and absorb all the filth caused by the smelting process. The load was far beyond what he expected, but the balladeer survived. He left the furnace in sheer exhaustion and said to the mechanic, "This device seems to have protected me. What's in it?" The mechanic answered, "Niwa fled this place for fear of punishment, but he left you a gift. He said it's the one thing that you've been looking for. He took it straight from the chest of one of his innocent servants. The mechanic removed the withered heart from the device as he spoke. The balladeer was stunned that such unthinkable cruelty had brought him the thing he'd been longing for his entire life. A heart acquired through cold-blooded murder is a cursed thing, but it had protected him from the filth. He thought Niwa had completely betrayed him, and yet this very betrayal had ensured his survival. Overwhelmed with anger and sorrow, the balladeer threw the heart to the ground and left Tatarasuna without looking back.
Holy moly! So the doctor killed an innocent man and pinned everything on the victim? That's terrible.
Yes. Only if he understands this can he choose a new path forward.
Tottori, you brazen-faced... Niwa didn't run from justice. You killed him.
Shall we see how he's doing? Hey, you alright? That's a scary expression.
Are you worried about me? If we didn't have such a history, I'd almost think that qualifies me to be your friend. It won't. I'll keep my end of the deal.
Hey, aren't you investigating the stuff we want to know?
That's why we're here. But unfortunately, there's no information about the Descenders in Irminsul.
Even if you can't find anything, that seems to confirm it. Irminsul does not keep records on the Descenders. Anyone who comes from beyond this world is not counted as part of Tevat.
Oh, does that mean we have to leave empty-handed?
Don't thank me just yet. You look really upset. Well, since Irminsul was a dead end, I guess I can share some other info that might interest you.
Huh?
The reason why there are records about your brother in Irminsul. It might have something to do with Conria. Apparently, Conria was his first destination when he arrived in this world. Plus, he only came to this world because the heavens responded to the summoning.
The heavens responded?
The jester told me this himself. You can take his word on this. He was a royal mage in Conria, and lived with your brother for a time. I don't know the details. It's up to you whether you want to believe me. All I can say is, I wouldn't lie to you about this. Did you get all that, Lesser?
Yes.
Does this info count towards my mission? It wasn't from Irminsul, but was it valuable?
Very valuable.
Good. In that case, I'll take some time for myself now.
Huh? What have you done?
Lesser Lord Kusanali was right. My power's all but completely spent. Even if I use all of the divine power left in me, I can't sustain this shield for very long. I shared a secret with you, and now you owe me. So in return, I'd like you to answer a question for me. Give me your hand. Can you hear my voice inside your head? No, I can't do anything like that anymore. At most, all I can do is exchange a few words with you. So tell me, in this world, is it possible to change the past? Done.
Huh? What happened? Paimon only saw you hold hands for a second.
Nothing. I was just thanking her for helping me. So long. I suggest you get yourselves out of here quickly.
Where
fast reaction time, but I don't think we'll be seeing each other again. From this day forth, the names Balladeer and Kabukimono will cease to exist. Those who died in Tatarasuna because of me deserve another chance at life.
Hey, Balladeer! Don't do anything stupid!
You know, I never did like insects. Hordes of the puny things swarming together can be a real nuisance. And I enjoy nothing more than to stamp them out like the pests they are. But if a colony of harmless ants isn't threatening anyone, I guess they deserve to be left alone. Luckily, everything can be set right. It's time to solve this once and for all.
Balladeer! Balladeer! Uh-oh, he disappeared. Come on, we gotta find him somehow. Oh no, he's really gone.
Oh,
Nahida!
Traveler, Paimon, Balladeer, what happened just now? I was suddenly cut off by some kind of power.
It was the Balladeer's fault. He shut you out.
I didn't think he'd be capable of something like that with so little power left. Did he keep some of his power hidden when he was defeated? Or...
Where the heck did he go? Ugh, it's all our fault. We were supposed to keep an eye on him. Sorry, Nahida.
Don't be. It's not your fault. Please, let me handle this from here, even though we're running out of time. Follow my lead and get out of Irminsul as soon as possible.
We're out! And we're at, an inn or something?
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and nobody will disturb you. I'm sorry, but this isn't something I need your help with. Leave...
An emergency? How bad is it? Nahida?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbances, it won't lead to a disaster. Please rest and recover your...
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. What do you think the Balladeer meant? And why did he suddenly grab a... He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible. Right, you can't just rewrite history. All that stuff happened already in real life. It's like, imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn. Even if no one was there to see it, Paimon would sure as heck remember drinking it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Paimon's so confused. Huh? Ah! Sorry, Paimon accidentally... It's the Balladeer's fault for causing Paimon all this mental stress. But erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible in Irminsul? Uh-oh. Paimon's head is overheating from trying to understand... Paimon's had it with that little brat. He's been nothing but trouble ever since we met. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? Otherwise, won't everyone who's connected to him be affected too? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas on what we should do next? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But Paimon's still so worried. Paimon won't be able to sleep a wink tonight. So, how about, favorite foods to take our mind off things. Heck, if that doesn't work, Paimon's probably gonna collapse of anxiety here. All right, Paimon will start. First dish. Munstack grilled fish. Oh, and chicken mushroom skewers. Tea break pancakes, cream stew, sauteed matsutake, and Dragon chili chicken, almond tofu, satisfying. Oh, also Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme, lotus seed and bird egg soup, and what do we... Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon suddenly can't remember what she was talking about. The balladeer? Is that a food too? Huh. What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something Paimon said? So, the balladeer. Is that someone's name? 'Cause it sounds like a nickname or something. Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay? You're acting like this is an emergency.
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I wasn't expecting. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, comprised of 5 branches. Aminoma, Futsu, the art of forging practiced by these 5, most of the great swordsmith clans of old. But fortunately, if my memory serves me right, you yourself were present when he forged the Ishin blade.
Oh, yeah, we were! Paimon remembers that. We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too.
That, in fact, this was not made known to me for most of my life. All these years, I knew of those great clans' demise, but never the cause. Only recently, when the question was on my mind, did I ask Kaedehara Kazuha about this. He told me that, as we are both heirs to a branch of... There is no harm in telling you the Raiden Gokuden were the target...
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic malfunction in Tatarasuna's furnace. One brave swordsmith, Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting up, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives. The smith's death, though heroic, dealt a devastating blow to his family's fortunes. In his heart, the whole of Inazuma was culpable in his tragedy. He hated the almighty shogun for her apparent indifference towards his father's death, and he hated everyone who had done nothing to try and save him. Powerless and destitute, the only legacy he had to pass on to his children was his hatred. Alas, if only the story could have ended there. But 100 years ago, the then head of this family reached the end of his wits. Finally, he made a drastic decision.
to take revenge on the Raiden Gokuden. In doing so, he sought to vent his pent up anger and shake the very foundations of Inazuma's forging industry. In his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing even bladesmiths from the Hyakume clan which he belonged to. His goal was absolute, the devastation of all of the Raiden Gokuden. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt end. He failed to catch them unawares. They fought back fiercely, and they did not spare his life. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? Your expression says it all. You can't hide anything from Paimon. On to the next stop. Lead the way, traveler.
Traveler, it's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato, I'm afraid your timing is unfortunate.
Are they out on business?
The Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place. If it's...
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the...
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Is there... Of course, Trav. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, as for the Commissioner himself, well, you know.
So pretty much business as usual.
Very...
Well, got any more questions?
You're very well. Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so thrilled to... I must say, many things in Inazuma seem to have taken a turn for the better since you arrived here. So you're not just Miss Kamisato's knight in shining armor, you know. You're a hero. I mean, whenever the Commissioner dines at home, the Commissioner has such a busy schedule. They say it's because they get to talking about you sometimes too, you know. Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened in the as someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter. So, in the future, if you ever do have the time, please, wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too. Oh, Paimon's itching to try it. We may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant we should come pay a visit again real soon. Ideally around dinner time.
Of course.
All right, goodbye for now. We're, great. Goodbye, ma'am. Don't worry.
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken.
Very well.
Well, here we...
Do my eyes deceive me, or...
Xavier? What are you doing here?
I was in the general area, and now I'm in this specific area. There, that's me.
We have some questions and thought you might be able to help.
Certainly do. I've researched the furnace. If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. They said it's all, Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of Tatarasuna starts I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations in the nation.
A couple?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a technology upgrade. It seems like the technological collaboration between our two nations goes back a lot.
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about Tatarasuna? Come on.
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like we've been preparing for a history exam or something.
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning desire for historical knowledge? Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? No, I can't say that I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to be. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono where Tatarasuna is concerned. Of course!
Oh, we're leaving?
Oh, you're most welcome. More than happy to help. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Whatever it is, keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile. No matter what happens, Paimon will... Hey, don't mention it. All right, let's head off and...
Hey, it's them!
Akaba, Sawada, you're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for...
We have time. What do you want to...
The same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh? Should we join them?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh?
I presume you'll want to read...
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler, remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this? Well, we just got back from Inazuma.
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically, we had...
Wow, so many new details. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from a member of the Armanoma clan, you say? Ugh. So there's no ghost story?
This new information actually lends further credence to my hypothesis. Evidently, swordsmiths were seen as having an...
Yes, okay, point.
And they're back at it. These guys are really into this.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you.
You're welcome.
Keep us in the loop if you...
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then she decided she wanted to go to Inazuma.
The balladeer? You look troubled. Is there... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look...
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the balladeer erased himself from Ermin.
But how was he even able to do that?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we defeated it. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully...
So, you believe this person really existed?
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But I'm struggling to imagine the traveler comes from a world beyond Chavat. That's why there's no information about her in Irminsul. And it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect her. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible when you think about it.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations. Why did he do it?
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died. Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, he couldn't keep hating humans after that. And the story makes sense. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it just feels so hopeless. He gave everything to do this, but...
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything she has told us.
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked away in a corner. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale? That somehow...
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory.
Hold on. So this record survived?
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the kabuki mono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before.
That's incredible!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information, but if we connect all the There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. The kitten too. Furious at this happy resolution, a gray fox stood up and the monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a... The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You..." The fire was extinguished. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor how it wished. I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one...
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. It is his very own memories. I made a bet to become a god. He was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture, and the only reason he was able to survive is that he was a pup. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders. Before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail, that Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around, but...
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. So the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth. When you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up. How about we go...
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a...
You got it. Come on, traveler. You need to get out of your head for a while. Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar. That'll be sure to lift our spirits. It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here.
There's a few things...
We're here! What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get something to... What is it? Have you figured it all out? Why'd you jump up all of a sudden?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last 2 fresh Sunsettias and ran off. Look.
I wasn't paying close enough attention. I think you're right.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting yourself get distracted. I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this...
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything. I'm just so thankful you agreed to...
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsettias, and I promised the lady down the street
Leave it to me. I'll find some more.
Stop. You don't want money.
That's right. We can talk more.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight.
I've got great food and great drinks that everyone can enjoy.
Yeah, this'll do.
Even though you say he's the balladeer, what are we planning? Oh, all right.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them before I take them. Huh? You two over there. Is there something
He spotted him.
You've been following me all the way from the city. I'd have to be blind not to notice. Have we met before? No, we haven't met. But you know me? I have no recollection.
Are you absolutely...
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for it.
A puppet? What makes you think that?
Huh?
You were right. The look on his face.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, I'm sure whatever it is must be important. Okay, but please let me deliver the...
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for it.
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm, and he let me take shelter in his cart. In return, I said I'd be his helper for a while.
That's...
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
Then let's return to the city.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really...
Something's come up, and...
I was just about to pay you anyway.
What?
I get it, but look. Imagine you were me for a second. But anyway, take...
But I don't... No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo.
Thank you. All right, done.
What's wrong? Huh? Are you?
Hello. I do apologize for the sudden intrusion.
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself.
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to my...
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather... I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but in your case, it seems that it ought to be called a previous incarnation.
Oh, like a past...
Yes, something far more distant than the...
Okay, I have to ask. Oh, okay, you want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most... If it's that difficult to talk about, I have no doubt, but I'll be able to handle it.
Is truth something you care a lot?
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you did many things that would be considered evil. You nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter fruit.
I gave everything I had.
In terms of the outcome alone.
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of right and wrong. Each choice a person makes...
That is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, if...
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable individual.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but yeah, we weren't your biggest fans.
If we were enemies, why are you...
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just some random stranger we met. He's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god...
Yes, it's all true.
Please, I want to see...
Even though it will cause your present self great mental...
I'm just a puppet. With...
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him?
Don't worry. Whatever danger...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him?
Oh, good point.
Understood.
Thank you.
No matter what lies ahead,
it's time to get...
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information extracted from your map. These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that enemies may react.
Sounds like an immersive experience.
you don't need to do this for me.
We never give up halfway. Well...
All right.
Wanderer.
Is that because This is kind of...
You could say that.
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved. There's someone passed out on the ground? You're awake. What happened? How'd you get stuck here? Not a scratch.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found the balladeer in Shake Pavilion and took him back to
And the rest is history. Well,
in the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people...
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor disguised as a mechanic. The balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared not long after. As the second in command at Tatarasuna, responsibility for what had happened fell to Mikoshi Nagamasa. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa killed him to put an end to the Tatarasuna.
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
Incoming. doing back here?
Whoa, this is where you were born? It's pretty, but there's nobody here.
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but there's nothing for it.
Okay, I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died. He kept coughing all the time.
But you can't.
Yup, we're family now.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died before he could name him. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him. They made a promise to live together.
What happened to the child?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone.
Let's keep going.
Stabilize!
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
Sheet of light!
I miscalculated. This place is dark.
Paimon knows this place. It's the delusion factory in Inazuma.
In the original version of events, the traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? Perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being experimented on by the doctor.
What a sharp tongue. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your...
Save your breath. I know what I have to do.
I'm sure you think so, but
Surely you're not...
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate...
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, must make you want to destroy it completely. Do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still suffering the consequences now. Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that poor little tongue of yours a rest and stop pretending like you're above everyone else. Bye then. See you at the victory feast.
poor little tongue? She's playing with fire talking to me like that. Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm welcome.
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story to come.
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Mother-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Nowhere to hide.
So soon. You can't run from death.
Incoming. Over here.
So very...
Stabilize.
Look at me. Just once more.
Looks like we have arrived in Sumeru. Is that...
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part in the experiment.
Welcome. I look forward to a fruitful collaboration.
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a...
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible, in the event that a successful...
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you, I was able to... Alas, after that, you...
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact of your utility does not make you indestructible.
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the bejeebers out of Paimon.
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes, you are evil.
In your eyes? Are there any...
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your previous and future incarnations? If not, then what are the differences between... Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human. Whoever has loved and lost, cried with grief, howled with...
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, no matter the consequences, I won't run from blame or punishment. Whatever I am due, can you return my memories to me?
Huh? But won't that mean you'll lose your current identity?
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is...
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. All the emotions that you discarded will return to you. Are you sure you want to do that?
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted from one place to the next. But then I met you, and I finally realized that... I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, so I beg you, grant me this
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasa will be thrilled.
This is my... Is he alright?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end.
This is trying my patience. Questions?
Feeble human!
Too slow. Squall and Fury.
How amusing. At my command,
the wind rises.
You shall fall.
Squall and Fury.
Feeble human. Wretched vermin. My endless cycle begins!
The wind rises.
Insignificant past!
Squall and Fury.
Feeble human!
The wind rises.
Insignificant past!
Follow me. Too slow.
Know your place!
Chill. Get out of my sight.
It disappeared. Did we win?
What did you expect? I'd never lose to that.
There's the tone of voice again. You're definitely back to your old self. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too. What have you got to be smug?
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I am. You sound like you're concerned about me, but don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing, at least I now know the truth.
The memory recovery seems to have been a success. This
Come on.
Welcome back, traveler. You don't like being a...
It's fine. But I was just thinking, after learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can carry on using a name connected to him. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui. And they wouldn't take me back anyway.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali.
But that doesn't mean your own...
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had. You weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can... Changing the world, changing the past, what you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world will...
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten so little?
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world worth regretting. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over too?
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was indeed a part of my plan. But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past. If all I wanted to do was use you, then I'd be no different from the doctor.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my...
Utility to others is what gives me worth. Oh, right. I almost forgot. You're the... Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with...
I'm glad you're able to think of it, Traveler. In the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deep, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before? I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor, and I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between...
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing behind. Some things in this world can never be brought back. Everything that you feel is real and lasting. And whatever is missing in you will not be made whole. To be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose whether or not...
But humans can't live without a heart, can they?
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter...
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where to start, but... The most important thing now is that you need to follow Nahida. Otherwise, all our efforts will have been for nothing.
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you choose a new name to celebrate?
Ooh! Paimon wants to pick an ugly nickname for you.
Why?
Because Paimon still doesn't like you that much.
Then I hope we don't see much of each other in the...
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud, but the Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new name, maybe you can ask them.
No, Paimon only does nicknames. If it's a
Have you got anything? I have no need for these names anymore. Okay. Have you gotten... Okay. Have you got... Are you sure? Oh, all right.
There. Now you have a name of your own.
What about a nickname? Take your time. I don't need to see everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer.
You mean the Fatui?
The doctor, at least.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe...
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. Well, I don't plan to leave, even though the events have been erased from the world.
I see.
Huh?
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. Maybe that... What's that look for? That day will... Alright. Goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have...
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything, so we can finally go...
Thank you both. I hope you...
I've got it! I can end my novel.
You mean because
Yeah! I heard the dark clouds had dissipated. Then, one night, all these express life.
It's about time we had a break. As soon as you stop, all the tiredness and hunger comes rushing back. Wow! Huh? Look at the vase. Did someone break it while they were cleaning the room or something? Like, Paimon...
You sound lost and confused. I know why you are troubled. Any who knew of this would find their mind overwhelmed.
Huh? Is there someone here talking to us?
Unfortunately, the fate of Tevat cannot easily be changed. Perhaps a god may have a slim chance, but for anyone else... Who can say? When a small animal runs into a tree trunk, though the tree may sway, it is not displaced. The same is true of fate. Like a vase that falls to the ground, whether it is broken by a cat...
Who are you?
History does not change easily, but human hearts can.
The voices disappeared. And who the heck was that? And what were they doing coming out? Anyway, it feels wrong just leaving it there.
How's Manthus wine tasted? Same as that